Just to backtrack a little bit, I think when I stated the date at the beginning of this series, I think I said October. But of course, I know it's November 3rd, 2017. And right now, it is about 7.5 minutes past 1 in the afternoon. So I wanted to move on quickly to cover some of these current events quickly from this past week. And the guy I was thinking of last week was Saul Alinsky, that wrote the book The Rules for Radicals. The guy that's saying, look, the stuff that you're doing, the bad things to gain power, what you do is you blame your opponents for those same things that you're engaging in. This really is psychological warfare, spiritual really. It's a devilish plan. It's like deceitful, deliberate deceit, and this is the way these people are. They're diabolistic. But I mean, what can you say about these people, man? I mean, God have mercy on their souls. I don't know, but. They definitely need help. The JFK files being opened, I already talked about that, showing that he's been shot from the front. But the more important thing, just like in any murder investigation, I mean, if let's say somebody gets murdered by a hitman, okay, murder for hire, right, insurance scam or something, we see it all the time. It happens. Um, it's very important to law enforcement whether or not somebody was paid to do it. And they don't even care so much. I mean, yes, they're going to indict and they're going to charge and imprison the murderer. That is first degree. I mean, you're a hitman. I mean, you go out to deliver it. It's premeditated to the nth degree, right? First degree murder. So, yes, the murderer, the executioner, the assassin, if they're caught, they'll be charged accordingly. But it's very important to know if they were paid, who paid them. Because as we all know, you see, this is how evil gets away with stuff. People will do anything for money. We all know that's the reality that we all contend with. We all live in that reality. That if somebody hates you enough, they could hire somebody to kill you. And it might not cost as much as you think it ought to, It might not be millions of dollars. You think, well, my life's worth millions. No. It might be for $50 if somebody's hard up for a fix. That's the kind of stuff. You wonder who's running this world? It's satanically controlled. Okay, the spirit thereof. That's who's running this scene. I gotta hurry up. Got so many thoughts. Like I said, earlier, I cannot stop this brain from thinking. But I come up with innovations too. It's not all just philosophical stuff and thinking outside the box stuff and biblical stuff and social, political, economic stuff. I need time away from my own brain sometimes, but I do feel a need to share what I know with people, and that's why I do what I do. I really do, because I want to be happy. And I can't be happy keeping truth to myself. Okay, when I think I know something that other people don't know, I have a compulsion, a commission, a responsibility, a duty, an obligation to share it with people. And that's why I do what I do. And I may be a threat to some people because I don't get paid at all. I don't want to. I don't want anything to do with making money off this series of videos I've been doing. And I like people to count on the fact that I'm going to keep doing it. I'll do it as long as I feel like I can. But there's ways that I intend on stopping to smell the roses that could interfere, but I'm going to try not to let them. I mean, I might end up in a relationship because it's a yearning I've never gotten away from. I've never been happy being single. Never. Never. The happiest I was having a wife. It's a great satisfaction. It brings me a lot of peace of mind to have my better half, to have a better half. And I long for it. And I'll try not to let it ever keep me from doing what I do with doing a weekly video series, but speaking out, giving my opinion, being a pundit, whatever you want to call me. I drop a lot of names. I don't like it. In retrospect, I see some of the stuff I say, and you know, look, guys that I really love and respect and look up to, like Steve Quayle. I shouldn't talk, but he talks openly about the stuff he's done, and I just want to put that out there. If anybody heard the statement I made some time ago, I shouldn't be talking about other people's dirty laundry. If they want to talk about it, let them. But when I look up to a guy like that, I mean, this is an example. A guy like Steve Quayle being forgiven a lot, but loving a lot. He loves God. He loves Jesus Christ. He loves that mercy and that compassion and forgiveness, and he espouses it all the time. And I love to hear that from people. It doesn't matter what you've done in life. What does the Bible say about these things? Those that have been forgiven much will love much. Jesus said, look, all heaven rejoices more over one sinner that repents than 99 righteous people that didn't need to. It doesn't mean, look, just because you were never a prostitute or, whatever it is that you think is so vile and untouchable, oh, I would never do that. You can't look down on people that have. I mean, what is the motivation? I mean, people are, sometimes it's enticements of the flesh, and sometimes it's money, sometimes it's all conflated. So it's a mire, and only God can sort it all out. But it's our hearts that's most important. It doesn't matter that I was, a warrior and I went out and killed a lot of people, and some of them I don't feel were justified, but it was in the heat of the moment, the fog of war and all that. It's comforting to know the Bible and the teachings of Christ, to know that God really in his infinite wisdom did not give us the power to kill somebody. Not in the sense that you can't make them not exist anymore. You could put them under the deep sleep, the big sleep as it's written about. But it is sleep, nevertheless. So that's a beautiful thing to know that we can't really die. It's life after life. Eternal life is what God's got planned for all of us, even the wicked. But they don't get the good scene. They don't get to get a renewed earth. They don't get to live in a world that they don't deserve, okay, because they've acted like bullies and pushing around the righteous and imposing their will upon them, their sordid, perverted will of dominance over the, just the people that want to live at peace and safety and security and prosperity with their fellow human beings, that are willing to let everybody have all the things they want for themselves, all the things they want for their family. They're willing that other people have. Now that's a pure heart, and everybody can embrace that. Everybody can have that, and the system won't break down. I promise you. I guarantee it. People will serve with joy in their hearts and a song on their lips and a bounce on their steps. I promise you. And you can't prove me wrong. Try it. Try it. Let's push the envelope in the other direction of progress, of freedom and light at the end of the tunnel, and prosperity and security and all these good things, contentment. Let's push it in that direction and prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. But you see, the people in control will fight tooth and nail to ever let that state of affairs come to be. They don't want you to know peace on earth. They don't want you to know safety and security and freedom and prosperity, and know that you don't need them for anything. They're irrelevant. They're just blood-sucking leeches just out there to make your little life miserable. And we get this itty-bitty, just a flash in a pan of life here, okay? That it's so insecure at that. It could be over for any of us at any time. And we got these a-holes just, screwing everything up, just stirring up the blood and the mud in the pond that could be nice and clear and clean and pure. The collective heart of humanity vibrating together as one family, one race, one species, growing and just expanding, and our imaginations, our innovations and infrastructures, and just having clean technology come to fruition because it wasn't no longer disruptive to anybody's profits. We could have it all. We could have whatever we can dream of. We can have. That's what God says to us. Whatever we can imagine. The sky is the limit. So that's what we should be fighting for, folks. Oh, I saw an ad. I couldn't believe it. I thought I hadn't woken up from a bad dream, but they got an ad to impeach Trump. They're going to circulate a petition that this guy's trying to ready people to. I wanted to punch the guy in the face, I got to tell you, So what I mean about being a wannabe pacifist. I did. I just want some people I just want to slap. Let's put it that way. Once in a while I scan this TMZ show that Harvey Levin puts out, but I find about 1/10 of the stuff they have interesting, and even at that, and their take on it, their spin, is definitely, I don't even want to call it left because I'm kind of left, liberal. But people that are like just going to the establishment. I think it's the establishment line, the Antifa, the Black Lives Matter, the George Soros connected groups, the by any means necessary. I mean, I think that a lot of these people are well meaning. I'm not sure who is a deceiver and who's deceived, okay? All I know is it's all mixed together. Remember, like the analogy of the weeds all grown together, it's all tightly, it's all in there. But their take, I don't like. I don't like the spin, the take, the twist, whatever you want to call it, often. And even Harvey, I think they're nice guys. I like Charles better. He's often his right hand man there, left hand man, whatever, as they sit on the show there. But and then you got Van. I like Van. I like some of their other reporters personally. Just like likable people with good vibes that seem honest, that value their conscience and integrity and honor. But most of the stories, it's just a drivel and tripe. It's like just small-minded, brute beast nonsense, the kind of stuff the world likes to keep us involved in. Not really important stuff that's really going to be enlightening and help people to grow as human beings, which is what I think we need. We really need people to be jarred out of their slumber. And that's why I say things that seem radical and thought-provoking. I mean, they've got to be said because they're really not that radical. They may be thought-provoking, and yeah, I want people to think. Think about the fact that you're worth infinite amounts to God, but to the world, you're just another warm body. You got a carbon footprint. You do the earth a favor, do humanity a favor, go kill yourself. That's the message that the world's putting out. And I'm preaching the opposite of that message, man. I'm telling you that you're priceless. Every one of us is a precious treasure to God, the soul of men, and that's what's most important. But I like people, and like I said, I trust 90% of the people. And you see how I get on Alex Jones's case. Look, I'd still trust you, brother, to run the Federal Reserve, and I'd trust over 90% of the American people. 95% of the American people won't steal, even if they can get away with it. I'd trust you all to run the Federal Reserve. We have a godly instinct nature that if we tap into it, we say, well, I'm going to be a good guy. I'm put in a position of power like that. I'm going to share the wealth. It's as simple as that. If it can be shared, if there's plenty of wealth to share, give me a logical reason why not. Is the system going to break down? And if you figure out, you conclude, you deduce that no, indeed, no. It's just that people are going to have a good attitude. Okay, being set free feels really good. To see your freedom slowly, steadily increase, your sense of security slowly, steadily increase, your prosperity level slowly, steadily increase forever, and that's all you see, man. That's a bright, beautiful light at the end of the tunnel, and you're approaching it. You're coming to it. We're all coming to it as a collective, and it can't be stopped. God's will is going to be done on earth, and it's going to get way too hot in the kitchen for the evil people. But God, in His pinpoint precision, He's going to start picking them out and sending them to their destruction where they belong, separating like He promised. Like He's going to separate the sheep from the goats. He's going to separate the wicked from the righteous. He's the master gardener. He's going to pull these weeds at the right time when it's easier to identify and say, this weed is definitely going this direction, or this is a cultivar. This is one I'm saving for my garden. And He's going to do it. That's what's coming. That's how He's going to do it. It's a perfect analogy, a perfect method. I can't think of a better method. But, it's as compassionate as it can be to the wicked, but it's just not fair to the righteous to always subject them to these bullies, these evil people that would run roughshod over them and just use them as slaves for their vile desires of their whims of their frickin' dirty, filthy, perverted hearts. Okay, we're done with these people. Among them, a lot of pedophiles. Can you imagine going for a child? I mean, as much as I can say, hey, well, personally, I think let nature decide. The laws of men are, badly flawed. So 18 is kind of an arbitrary, capricious number to say, well, you're not a minor, and in the eyes of the law, you can sleep with whoever you want. Look, I'm following the laws of the land. Okay, let me put it out there. There's no way. I'm not even interested in a woman. Really, I mean, look, I might take a woman of childbearing age, but it's tough because it's a big deal. That's a lot of power that they wield when they are a woman of childbearing age. When you can have, they could, you could they sire you children. Okay, let's put it that way. That's a lot of power. Bringing children into this world is a big deal. I'm all for it, though. I think that everybody that has kids, you're doing God's will. He said, "Go forth, be fruitful, and multiply." The point is that even the Jews, I mean, they have these bat mitzvahs and the bar mitzvahs, and they think nature's taking its course. They say, well, it's around 14. What is that? Hey, so what? So what's wrong with that? I mean, if that's nature calling, but of course, men mature later. We all know that this bears it out, not just physiologically, but particularly emotionally, mentally, they mature slower. So I think it's like 3 or 6 years or something. But men, they're less mature at that age. So they're like children still. I think a lot of boys at 14.